For this, it looks like, oh gracious, Shakuntala and Thomas Fuller and Karan Gandhi all have those correct. The rest of us have at least one that is not correct. So let's look at what the correct answers were, and if you do not have them correct, you can switch some of those. So f of x minus 2, what is that going to do to the graph? X minus 2?
No, I heard minus x.
Okay.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah. So you're correct. F minus x, if we want to skip there, Tyler.
Yeah.
F minus x reflects over the y-axis. When that negative right there, negatives are going to reflect, and when it's on the inside of the parentheses, it flips it over the y-axis. It flips it like left to right. So that has happened on this graph right here, and also this weird-looking graph right here. So those two go together. Yeah, there's two on, as that might be the problem. What does the x minus 2 on the inside of the parentheses do?
Move it to the right.
Right 2. So you're looking at the graph moved right 2. That will be that parabola and also the straight line. What does f of x plus 2 out there on the end do? Up 2. That has happened for both of these graphs right here. And then by process of elimination, you're left with these last ones. I think they're the hardest to do. 1/2 x, what is that going to do when you multiply by 1/2 x? 1/2 times the function. Compress it. Is it a vertical compression or a horizontal? It is vertical. So it's like you're taking that y-axis and you're squishing it down to make it like shorter and fatter. So I think you can see it the best on this sine graph because it just like squishes it in, sort of like making those waves not as high there. But it's also the case on this one. This one can almost look like it shifted down sometimes. But if you kind of compare the numbers, that point right there wasn't shifted down at all, right? That's one thing you can look for. Anything on the x-axis is not going to move whenever you multiply it by 1/2. So that'll kind of show you that's not moved up or down there. So, questions? I was able to identify those fairly well. All right, let's see what we got on the next slide. So, I'm interested to see how you guys describe this here. So we've got the graph moved over 2, and I know that anything that moves the graph across the x-axis has the opposite sign. So it would be right here for Shakuntala, we would want to say f of x minus 2 and not just x minus 2. That works great. When you say over, I would put left or right with that. That would work, but before Diana here starts changing this one, g of x equals f of x minus 2. Does that work on this? If I look at that graph closer, it could have been moved to the right too. That is definitely a possibility. What about if it moved down 2? Does that work also for this? So like, you really can't tell the difference between these. It could be either one. It could be moved to the right 2, or it could be moved down 2 for this. With straight lines, depending on the slope, it's going to have like a vertical shift or a horizontal shift that could be the same thing. For this one, because your slope was just 1, the down 2 and the right 2 are the same. If you had like a negative slope or a slope of 1/2, it changes it, but there's still that happening there. So actually, both of those can be right at the same time for that. So let's see, this one did f of x minus 2. This one was right 2. Most of you did right too. Actually, Alicia down here had down 2 or to the right 2 because you definitely can do either one of those for that. So sometimes there might be a couple options. I might give something like that to you on a free response question. If I give it to you on a multiple choice question, I won't put both of those answers there, unless it's like you can pick more than one, because they are both correct for that. All right, and let's see what you guys put for the title here. Okay, reflections over the y-axis. Reflections over the y-axis, mostly. Let's see, vertical reflection. I probably wouldn't use the phrase vertical reflection. You are reflecting over that vertical line, but it's probably not specific enough, because like when you reflect over the x-axis, it's your y-coordinates that change. And so I probably just wouldn't use the phrase vertical reflection. I do have horizontal dilation or compression there. That's an interesting one. I don't know if I know the answer to this necessarily. I would not use that here because it doesn't have a number there, right? But what if I put a 2 with that? If I had negative 2x, that would be a horizontal dilation, right? So that number right there, I don't think we call just putting the negative there a dilation or compression for that. So just the reflection over the y-axis would be good. You could also title it something like f of negative x. That would work. For those, that would work as well. So that's just a quick little